Good morning, friends. Matt here from theshavingcadre.com. I hope everybody's doing well. I am going to shave off my mustache today. My wife was not feeling it, so this bad boy's gonna go. But anyway, it's been about 3 days since my last shave, and I am getting ready to go to deer camp. So want to be clean shaved because I'm going to be gone for 4 days. So anyway, today's shave is going to be with Fougere Gothic from Barrister and Mann. Fantastic soap, fantastic scent. It's great for fall. I'm going to be using their aftershave as well. And for a balm, I'm going to be using Lisa's Natural Herbal Creations Vetiver. Actually, maybe I ought to switch to a Fougere. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna use Lisa's Green Irish Tweed. How about that? All right, and then for my brush today, I'm gonna be using one of my brushes that's not my favorite. This is an Art of Shaving brush that I got for really inexpensive from a former employee of Art of Shaving. I don't know how she ended up with so much Art of Shaving stuff, but apparently when they closed down one of the stores, she ended up buying or walking off. I don't know. I assume she bought a bunch of this stuff from the store, and so I bought it from her for relatively inexpensive. Brush is not super thick. It doesn't have a really heavy hair count. There you go. It's not super dense, but it's a fair brush. It'll work. It's better for creams than it is for soaps, but it'll work. I was considering reknotting it at some point. I do like the black handle. It looks really nice, classy, but we'll see. And that's the thing. This thing's kind of floppy. It has a few hairs here and there coming out of it. So I'm not sure if this is one of the later brushes that Art of Shaving produced, but it's not near as good a quality as what's out in the market right now from a lot of the artisans. All right, there we go. Should be good and nice and pasty. And there's the lid. Okay, go ahead and get my shave started. So I'm gonna work about half the day today. Take off at about noon to head to the family farm. Looking forward to a relaxing weekend, hanging out with family, and having a few bourbons and cooking out. And I'm sure several of us will shoot deer. And so we'll be working too. There for quite a few years, the property didn't really produce hardly anything. Back in the early to mid 90s, we didn't hardly see deer. And for those of you that don't know, we live in Missouri. But closer to the mid 2000s or so, we started seeing a lot bigger deer and a lot more of them. And now you go out, you might see 20 deer in a morning or so. And so it's pretty great. So pretty well, I'm not going to say guaranteed, but we should definitely be able to shoot at least one deer a piece. I plan on shooting 2 if I can. I like that good, healthy meat, and then on top of that, you know, as high as meat prices are right now, especially beef, anytime we can substitute, the better. I think I'll just give it just a hair more water, and we'll go ahead and move on with the shave. Love this scent. And this brush is way too floppy for my likes. Definitely need to replace it at some point. Luckily, I have plenty of other brushes. Get a little toilet paper for the mustache. Don't want that going down my drain. And today's razor is this is a Morris Red Imp 133. I did touch this razor up on a Shanter, which is a new stone to me. Found a guy on Facebook Marketplace who was selling them for really cheap. He ended up getting them at an auction. For basically nothing. And he's selling them on Facebook, and he hooked me up with one, and I was gonna say this razor was a little bit tuggy, and I gave it about 12 laps. And it is shaving it really well now. Looks like I gave myself a little weeper there. This razor has always been kind of on the more dangerous side. Some folks tell me I should, but I did not mute the toe on this one, and it is dangerous. It'll get you if it can. And it definitely got me there on my lip. Oh well. That's funny. Did a bunch of reading on the Shanters after I made my purchase. And a lot of what I read said that a Shanter is about 6 to 8K. Now, this razor was honed to 8K, and then I think I finished it on my Escher, and it's probably had maybe 30 shaves on it, maybe more. And took it to the Shanter for, like I said, about 12 passes, maybe a few more. It might have been 14, or laps rather. Thing shaves just like a 12K or more. Pretty comfortable. The stones I picked up were 1 by 5 by 1. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lap the sides of them, and then I'll epoxy them together, and then I will go ahead and once they're put together, I'll glue them, or I'll flatten the top, and then I'll have a 2 by 5. Now, in my reading about the Tam O'Shanters, the black Tam O'Shanters, or the dark gray ones, are supposed to be closer to a 6 to 8K, whereas the lighter colored ones, like what I picked up, are ultra fine. So, doesn't really have a grit rating on them. Man, I really got myself good there, didn't I? Not really a super common stone. Small quarry. My understanding, they were also labeled as water of ire. They were a natural abrasive, a fine abrasive, and they used them for a lot of different things. And actually the purpose that these stones were produced for was for typesetting, for polishing typefaces. That's what's on the label anyway. And the gentleman that bought it said that that estate was that of a family that did that had a printing company. So that makes sense. I think he said he got like 150 or 250 of them. Anyway, so kind of interesting, you know, before synthetic abrasives were around. Companies had to use whatever they had, and some of the finest materials that they had were, well, natural materials. You know, personally, I didn't mind the mustache all that much. I actually kind of liked it. Mrs. was really not into it, and for those of you that are married, you know, it's kind of important for the missus to like what you have on your face, especially if it has to do with your upper lip. Now these Thomas Shanters, most of them that you're seeing for razor hones, I've seen are for like a around a 2x6 size. But then I've seen a whole bunch of them again for sharpening surgical tools. Apparently they used them to polish jewelry, which is kind of interesting that they used them for polishing gems and polishing different spots. They used it for polishing solder joints and all sorts of other stuff. But yeah, the razor ones are about 2x6 or 2x8s, whereas the other ones, I mean, they came in all sorts of sizes. You'd see sticks. There were sticks that they used, which is kind of interesting, like long sticks. They were real thin, and rods. There's not much left. Seen all different sizes. I've also seen a few safety razor hones, which is kind of interesting. You know, the ones that are kind of dished in the middle so that you can put a safety razor in the middle and then slide it back and forth to hone your safety razor, which is kind of cool. Really nice edge. I'm super happy with that. Just to use as a touch-up hone and work fine. And for the price, can't beat it. Now I'm sure that once this guy runs out of them, they'll get it more expensive again. But just like Eschers, imagine the effect on the Escher market if you had somebody that found 200 or 300 labeled Eschers. Price would probably drop out of the market. Right now, an Escher, I think, is running a labeled Escher. I think it's somewhere around $450, $500 for a labeled Escher. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous, but even, I think I picked mine up 6 years ago. I think I paid $200 to a guy for it. But, of course, you know, he was selling at private sale, and he's not a straight razor user, so I don't think he knew exactly what it was worth, but even back then, a 2x6 Barber's Delight was running somewhere around I think somewhere around $300, $350. So I mean, them things have really gone up in price. And these Tomo Shanters, they're not cheap, but they're nowhere near an usher. I did not slurry this, and I feel like had an edge comparable to a good conical. Yeah, I got myself there a little bit. No tingle on the cheeks, a little bit on the neck. And my normal spot, I always get a little tingle right there. Pretty darn good shave. And by the way, I use the Barbero alum. Bought it on Amazon. Nothing fancy. Anyway, back to stones. But yeah, I would say if you could find one, pick one up. I wish I knew a little bit more about them. There's a little bit of good info on caudical.be about them. We've got a thread on the shavingcadre.com where we've been talking about them a little bit. And I mean, there's info out there, just not a ton. Had a couple of guys tell me I need to do a video on all the different stones. I mean, I'm no expert. I'll always say that, but there really are some pretty interesting stones out there. I own a few cool ones. Nothing super fancy. Again, Lisa's Natural Herbal Creations. I'm gonna use the Green Irish Tweed. And I like to put the balm on first lately. I've got a friend of mine that's been doing it, and I'm going to do it too. Woo! Went a little heavy with the balm. Oops. And I forgot to put my witch hazel on. That's all right. I think I'll survive. Now, if you've got a chance and some time, please check out my other friends' channels. The Shaving Cadre has some awesome guys on it, and they produce a lot of good videos. Bill M, Long Haul Tanker, Handlebarber Dave, The Cutthroat Journey, all of them produce great videos. So please check out their YouTube channels. And of course, like and subscribe to mine if you can. Well, yeah, I need to produce a video on stones. That'd be fun. I've got J-Nats, Eschers, Welsh slates, all sorts. But anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Always fun to visit. And I will shave with you later. Take it easy.